Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Sportswriters podcast. This is Aaron Ferguson, the high school sports reporter, and today joining me on this 5th of July are two high school kids, JJ Guedet on my far right, Washington High School football player, committed to go play football at Minnesota, and Josiah Miamen is here directly to my right in the middle of us. He's a Dunlap High School football player, and he is not committed anywhere yet, but maybe he'll give us some insight into that later. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
So yesterday was the 4th, and so before we dive into like the football and the fun stuff, I want to know, because it's been a hot debate every 4th of July, do you guys like fireworks or not?
I like a certain amount of fireworks. They can overdo it sometimes. I had the riverfront yesterday. That was just too many fireworks. It was going on for like 20 minutes. And I don't like when everyone posts it on their stories. Like, I've never seen fireworks before. So, yeah.
I think there is a definite amount that you can stop at. Be like, hey, this is enough. But there was a lot at the riverfront.
So that's too much?
I think so.
Do you like Washington's better?
Yeah. It's pretty short, but it's still cool.
Cool. Well, you guys just wrapped up, I guess, June workouts and 7-on-7s and whatnot. I guess for some of us who maybe don't go through those practices, can you guys like explain what the June month of football looks like?
For us at Washington, we'll either split it up and go our bigs group and our skills group, all levels, and our bigs will go lift first, and then our skills will be on the field, and then we'll flip-flop and just go from there.
At Dunlap, we're all together the whole time. And we start in the morning by lifting from 8 to 9. And then after that, we go and we have 7-on-7 practice from like 9 to 11:30 or so. And that, for us, June's mostly an install month where we get everything in. And then once we get everything in July, we polish it off and get in pads and see how it looks in pads. And then by August, we're ready to go.
So what exactly is a 7-on-7?
7 guys against 7 guys. Linebackers, corners, and running backs and wide receivers and quarterbacks go against each other.
And then you guys mentioned on our way up here that you guys are putting pads on this coming week. I guess what's kind of the July period like?
It's more intense and it's harder because it's that real hot month and you're in full pads and you're just now getting used to putting pads on after a whole year, and yeah, it's a lot.
It just picks up the intensity of how hard you have to go to get ready. For a lot of the freshmen, it's their first time being in pads unless they play JFL, and it's still quite different from being in JFL.
What do you guys, in your own respective opinions, where is the excitement start to build as you're getting closer to the season?
I'm always excited for it. I mean, this year I'm not playing basketball, graduating midterm, so this is all I got left for high school. So this is kind of my last hurrah. It's pretty exciting to get into it.
For me, it's that first Friday. The rest of the stuff leading up to that's just routine. I've been doing it for the last 3 years, so I don't really get that excited for it. Like, I love the grind and all that, but that first Friday is what's gonna get me juiced.
What have you guys been doing leading up to June, kind of on your own off-season workouts to kind of improve your skills?
I go lift every morning with my parents, 5 points, and then head up to the field later in the day and just work on technique and stuff.
I work out with Aaron Ferguson at 360 Speed and Performance.
Who are some of the other people that have kind of helped you guys become the athletes that you are?
I'd say from Washington, Colton Underwood obviously comes back a lot and helps, and I've worked with him quite a few times. And he's kind of one of the first recent guys to make it big, and it's a big goal to aim for.
For me, Eric Crowhurst, of course, has made me helped me come into the athlete I am, improve my athleticism and agility and explosiveness and things like that. And then in Dunlap, Coach Kaz, Coach Antino, Coach Jax, all those guys, if I forgot any of them, all of them, they've all helped me. Coach Doolin, all of them, they have pushed me ever since I stepped in, and they keep me on the right track and help me with all that kind of stuff.
JJ, you mentioned Colton and making it big. Is the Bachelorette in your future?
Nah, that's not for me. I watch it because of him, but too much drama.
What are your thoughts on the show so far?
I'm glad Jordan went home, but I think it's going to get a little dull.
I haven't watched a single episode. I don't know if that makes me a good Peoria sports writer, but I can't bring myself to do it. Let's talk about recruitment a little bit. JJ, obviously you're committed to Minnesota, and you've met people like Jason Bargy, who's off camera right now from Moments, who's also going to Minnesota. What is the process like now that you're committed, looking back on it?
I think the visits were exciting, but after a while you really have to get down to, this is my future and I have to find what I want. A lot of schools talk about the fit for you, and at Minnesota I found that.
I guess you probably went on unofficial visits and official visits. What's kind of the difference between the two?
I have not taken an official yet.
Oh.
I've been all unofficial, so.
Neither have I, so I can't give you a inside scoop on officials either.
Saving your 5?
Yeah.
Just one.
Well, just one for you. Josiah, you're obviously not committed yet, but you've kind of been through the process. I think you went to Michigan, Purdue, and also Penn State last week.
Yeah.
I guess, what is it like still having your commitment open at this point, and just, I guess, what is the process like for you every day?
It's different, and there's a lot more pressure than there was in the early times because everyone's committing now, and all the rosters are closing up. But I'm trying to put an emphasis on making sure that I pick the right school and go to spend my next 4 years at somewhere that I'm not going to regret. So, yeah, I'm not going to rush it, and I'm just taking my time.
What does that look like? What are you looking for in these schools that are pursuing you?
I want a team that's like a school that's academically prestigious, and coaches and like players that I get along with and stuff like that. And that'll all fall into place. So for the most part, it's about the school, and I want to be set up for after football. If I don't make it to the NFL, or if I get injured in college, I want to be able to have a degree that is like decent to shape me for the rest of my life, so I can take care of my family in the future.
I know there's kind of a lot of debate out there because you play wide receiver and defensive end at Dunlap. Where do you want to play in college ideally, or are you just keeping everything open?
I'm going to play tight end in college. So the schools I've narrowed it down to for the most part, except for Notre Dame, are all tight end. So unless I go to Notre Dame, I'll be playing tight end.
Has anyone offered to, I guess, let you play both or try both?
No, that's not really that common in college. I'd be down to play both, but I don't think that would ever happen.
Why tight end over D end?
I've been playing it my whole life, and offense is like my first love. I never, like my first year of varsity, I played all offense. Last year was the first year that I played both. So offense is what I'm more used to and what I fell in love with when I started playing the game.
You guys got a chance to go at each other a couple of times last year. What were those, I guess, one-on-one scenarios like? Do you remember any of them? Is there anything you learned from each other?
I don't remember them that well. I just remember that they were a couple hard-fought games. I remember the experiences with the other tackle a little more since I went up against him more, but he's strong and he's good. So it's a change of pace from some of the guys that I went up against before because he has so much length that I'm usually able to use my length against the people because they can't touch me when I fully extend my arms, but it's different with him. So got to work moves where he can't touch me and I'm moving, and yeah.
It's definitely different, and it's kind of a problem that we're working with right now is trying to emulate other very good players with length, with speed, and things like that. Going against him, he has both, so it's definitely different from my practice looks, but it was a hard-fought game.
Are you looking forward to getting in the rematch in week 4?
I am.
Yeah. I look forward to playing Washington every year. I always have. I've been kind of I've been playing against JJ in like basketball since like 5th grade.
Oh, 4th grade. We went back way,
4th or 5th grade.
Way back.
So we've been playing against each other for a long time. So the rivalry has been building up for a really long time. And my first few years playing them, we didn't succeed. And then the last year, we played pretty well. So this will be our, like he said, last hoorah to see who can have bragging rights for when we leave, whoever gets that last win against Washington Dunlap. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game.
Are you concerned at all that it's back at Washington again?
I think it's kind of bogus. my friends on the team.
Hey, I'm just going to say, this is more than 3 years since I've been in here, so.
Yeah, but you'd rather have at Morton than at Washington, to be completely honest. You don't know what it's like. But, yeah, I've played Washington at home before in my sophomore year, but most of my friends and teammates now, the seniors on the team, they haven't done it, so they don't know what it's like. So they're kind of more bummed out than I am. But I'm always up for competition, and going to Washington it's hard, but it's fun, and the odds are stacked against you, and that's what I love playing against the most.
You guys met in the semifinals, of course, last year. What does that say about the strength of the Mid-Atlantic Conference? So you got two teams to the semifinals, and I think the previous year you had Canton also get to the semifinals.
It means a lot. I mean, there was a lot of good players that played last year. Mangieri, Benny Hoff, us two here, some other guys on our team, Aaron Boley, guys like that. That's what makes it happen. That's why we go so far. So, Canton had those guys too, and I think it's just a good example of how much talent there is around here.
Yeah, it speaks volumes because it means a lot for two teams to get there. It's sad that we had to play against each other and we couldn't play each other in the state championship, but yeah, we had a lot of teams represented in that playoff. Yeah, maybe not only from the Mid-Illini, but from the Big 12 as well. So it was good.
How do you guys raise that bar? I mean, obviously it's going to be hard to get back to the state title game and going to be hard to get back to the semifinals, but how do you guys go and try to raise that bar again this year?
I mean, if we look at it, we're coming back and we're seniors now instead of being juniors, so just us alone is a whole another year of experience and work and weight put on and things like that. Not to mention the rest of your team and who else coming in and younger guys that can help you like that.
Well, for us, it's completely different than it was last year. So it's a different bar than it was last year. The players are different. A lot of the players are different. I've lost a lot of the guys that I've been playing with since I came into high school. This will be my first year playing with, like, the people that are in my grade for the most part. So it's a change of pace, and yeah, it's good.
How have you had to see yourself step up into a leadership role with the Charlie Mangieris and Luke Benioffs leaving?
Well, they're more vocal leaders. I just lead by action. So when I see a younger kid in a stance wrong or running a route wrong or not having his hands out and catching in his body, I just speak in and they listen because, yeah, I hope they respect me, but yeah, they listen. And I've been kind of doing it. Last year, I didn't really do it off the field, but on the field, I definitely played a leading role in keeping my teammates up and stuff like that. So over the years, I've been preparing myself, and I'm ready to do it now.
JJ, you mentioned something earlier that I want to go back to about how you're going to enroll early or I guess graduate early and then enroll early at Minnesota. What goes into a decision like that?
I don't really have many classes left at Washington that's going to go into what I want to do. So, I mean, that's part of it. I don't want to be stuck in school doing something that's not going to help me. And talking to, like, my coaches and former players that have gone to college and wish they had done it, seeing what they would have done and how they could have advanced. My biggest worry was going to be weight, and that's not really a problem anymore. So I don't really have any reserves about it.
I think you wanted to put on, in March, I think you said you wanted to put on like 30 pounds. And then how quickly did you do that?
I got it done pretty fast. I think I got it done like 4 months after basketball. So wow, I'm pretty good now.
Josiah, is that an option for you? Is that an option to enroll early wherever you decide to go?
I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
Are you going to stick around and play basketball or just?
I don't know. It'll be a game time decision. New coach and everything, so new feel. I don't know. If I feel like the program's coming around and people are going out, then I might have to. But for now, I don't know.
What's it like just walking around school in the fall versus winter and spring? Is there a different feel around your particular schools with high school football in the air?
Yeah. On Fridays, we always wear our jerseys to school. And I think that kind of gets the whole school everybody's like getting ready, amped up, and there's kind of a tension rising until you get on the field, and it kind of just breaks right there, and everybody's really excited.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feel for us in terms of how like the teachers act, the students act, all that stuff. And in the recent years, our Dunlap community has been pretty good in getting people to games and all that stuff. So the support is there. And when football season isn't around, it's a lot different. Like when basketball starts at Dunlap, I don't know about Washington, but we suck. We have sucked for the last few years. So people don't talk about basketball. If I didn't know that there was a basketball team, I wouldn't have like had any clue that basketball season was going on. But when football season is happening in Dunlap, it's in full swing, and you don't have to know about football to know. You know it's football season.
JJ, what's it like? Obviously, you've played basketball the past few years. What's it like, the difference between going from playing football so late into the year for Coach Crouch and then having to immediately transition to playing for Coach Brown, like weeks later?
I think this past year it was like 3 days or something. We went and had a game on Friday, and our first game was on a Monday. So conditioning is a big thing, and I had to start doing that during the playoffs to make sure I wasn't dead when we got to basketball. And even doing that, I was still pretty out of shape. They have very different coaching styles. Coach Crouch is more, I think, he likes to show you with his body, and he wants to be in there with you doing it. And Coach Brown likes to draw them up and kind of put you where you're supposed to be and show you what he's seeing. It's definitely very different, but I think that's really good to be able to kind of switch from a mindset and a body physique.
How much has Coach Crouch taught you just about playing line?
He's taught me the most out of like everyone that I've worked with about O-line. I mean, we still got Tim Simpson came back and he works with us. New coach Malinowski is here helping us now, and they both help a lot. But I've spent the most time with Coach Crouch, so it's really nice to see. And I'm kind of past what my dad knows about it, so he can't really help me anymore.
Josiah, obviously you've mentioned Dentino and Kaz and Jax. What have they kind of taught you over the years?
They've taught me how to be a better person and start becoming a man more so. And in terms of football, Coach Dentino has taught me the grind that it takes off the field in terms of watching film and studying up on your opponents and the seriousness that comes within the business feel that comes with playing football. He's taught me all that stuff. Coach Jax has taught me over the last year, because we've only had him for a year, how to keep my composure and not freak out and get mad at people. And then Coach Kaz has been with me from the start. He's taught me everything. He's taught me everything they have and then some. So, yeah.
Who are some guys that you guys have kind of leaned on as you've gone through just the recruiting process? Because it's not easy when you have all these different coaches reaching out.
I talked to Charlie and Kaz. Kaz handled most of it for me. And then if I ever had like a big question, because Charlie's been through it, so I talked to Charlie. I talked to Nick Mangieri. And, just a lot of the people that have been through it. And then I leaned on Kaz, and I leaned on my trainer, Eric Crowhurst, and then my family sometimes.
I talked with Colton again about, when I did decide to enroll and try and go early. He was a big part of that. Alec Peters a little bit more recent. My dad and I are close, so we spent a lot of time talking about, what did I want and what did I want to see from the coaches in the school.
You guys obviously get to go meet different people. I know, as I mentioned earlier, Jason sitting off camera over here, you guys both have met him through different, visits or whatnot. What is that aspect of it, like getting to meet some of these other players from around the state and around the country?
I think it's really fun because you get to go and you're talking to people that are, they're potentially going to go to the same school with you. With Jason, it is the same for me. And then when you find your school, you can kind of help try and steer people towards it. And, I think that's really fun.
I didn't meet that many people. So most of my visits that I went on were solo. And then when I went on to Penn State, the kids that I was camping with there weren't committed yet. So, and I didn't know any of them because they're all from like Ohio and Pennsylvania and stuff like that. So I haven't really met anybody for the most part.
Do you try to maintain those contacts then as you meet these kids, or is that kind of hard to do if they're from out of state?
Usually the kids that stay in contact with you are the ones that are already committed, that try to to sway you. Like a kid from Iowa texts me, a kid from Penn State texted me, stuff like that, trying to tell you what they liked about the school to help you with your decision and things like that.
What are some of the things that they kind of tell you? Or in your case, what do you try to tell others about Minnesota?
I just like talking about Coach Fleck. He's a great guy. Every time we go up there and he talks, I'm just kind of just sitting here, and it's really fun to just listen to him and what he has to say and talk about the program. And everybody, if you don't like it, it's probably not for you, but it's really cool to listen to him talk.
Is he what sold you on Minnesota?
he is a very, very big part. I like his energy and his attitude that he has, but all of the coaches are really good, and I really want to have a great relationship with all of them.
How much of an influence did what he did at Western Michigan have, and how have you seen that translate to Minnesota?
To be honest, didn't watch college football till last year, so I didn't know about it. So I hear about it, and yeah, it's really cool. But I didn't know it. I didn't know it when it was happening. But you can definitely see it here now.
Josiah, what's kind of the timetable for when you want to make a decision? You said soon. What does that look like?
Probably like end of July, early season, or before season. I don't know yet.
So do you have like a list that you're kind of have it narrowed down to now?
I have a few schools in mind, like Illinois, Purdue, Penn, Michigan, and Notre Dame.
Cool. I don't know. What else do you guys know? What do you want to say?
Whatever you want. What do you want?
I don't know.
Any questions we can answer?
Do you have questions for each other?
I don't.
What's the sibling rivalry like? You mentioned that you guys have been playing basketball since 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
I don't know how they feel about us. That'd be interesting. How do you feel about us over in Dunlap?
I don't like you guys. I think it's easier to play against you if I don't like you.
Yeah. On my end, I hate Washington. I always have. No offense to him. But I really, really, really don't like them. I never have. I don't think I will. I guess it's a tribute to how they play and stuff like that. But yeah, the most heated game for me every year is playing Washington. Has the most. It's been building up years after years after years. So it definitely has it's my favorite game. It sucks that it's this early this year, but not as much build up. But I'm ready. I can't wait to get out there.
Years past, it's been other schools like Morton and that, but I think this next year we're all looking forward to this Week 4 Dunlap game.
Why is that?
We want payback.
Well, we shut them out, so I don't understand why they would. I think a lot of teams are going to be like that this year. We probably pissed off a lot of people, so yeah.
So why? I mean, you said you guys have been playing each other for so long. Has this really been a rivalry brewing for that long? Because to me, as kind of an outsider, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
In like 5th grade, our parents would be yelling at each other.
Oh yeah,
in the bleachers and stuff.
It was bad.
Kids would be hit. Like I remember one time, Sam Walters hit some kid on my team. I don't know if it was by accident or not. We had a mom like run out of the bleachers and start yelling in his face and stuff like that. We've had parents just. It's been bad.
We've had some bad stuff
We've
going
had some bad
on. It's been mostly basketball though.
Yeah. So then it translates. So then when everyone started playing football too, it translates over like, yeah, I don't like Washington, or I don't like Dunlap. So
I don't think it's so much just us. I think it's the whole Dunlap community doesn't really like my family. I'll say my family because my dad's in there too.
Yeah, was he the coach?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that's what it was. So when he was younger and he was the coach in like the 5th grade and stuff. Yeah, he definitely burned some bridges per se and made some people mad. So it's just a rivalry that's been brewing for a really long time, and it's about to be the last time we get to play up against each other, unless I play JJ in college in the Big Ten. So which will be good too. But yeah, for high school, this is the last one.
Aside from Week 4, what are you guys looking forward to this year?
I always we got Morris. I think it's Week 2, and they're usually pretty good up front and backfield wise. So that's gonna be a good game for us. And then playoffs.
Galesburg. Last time we played Galesburg, they smacked us on our home field. So for the guys that got beat like that, I want to set the tone and make up for it as much as I can. And I'm looking forward to that game. I don't know much about the Week 2 team we're playing. It'll be a different feel because we're going to be leaving school at like 10 o'clock and driving 5 hours to go play a game. So I look forward to new things like that. Morton Week 9 is definitely going to be good. At Morton, I know a lot of guys on that team, and we hang out and stuff like that. So it'll be fun playing against them and all the familiar faces. I know Nolan and Jared have trained with Eric too all the time. So after I'd work out, they'd usually be after me, and we'd talk and stuff. So, and we talk about the game and how it was last year and all that stuff. So it's been brewing too. Not as much as Washington, but it's been brewing. And Metamora, I always look forward to that. I don't know if they're last year it was kind of a bad season for them.
Yeah,
but
last year they didn't have a lot of guys.
yeah, if they step it up this year, maybe. But the teams that I'm really looking forward to in the Middle Illini are Morton, Washington, and then I'm looking forward to Galesburg week. And Canton's always a hard week. I don't know.
We'll see, Canton's been looking pretty good.
Yeah.
At lineman challenges, 7-on-7, stuff like that.
It hurts to play against Canton the most, I would say.
Why?
Them farm boys, they just hit. I don't know anything about it, but last year it was physical. It was week 9. We had to close it out for the. We had to close it out to get the conference championship or whatever. So that was a hard fought game, and driving all the way down to Canton. I've been doing it. I think this is like my third. I've done it every year of high school. So driving all the way down to Canton, yeah, it's a different feel.
What's it like playing them? Because I know they run that single wing offense that's kind of a little funky. At least it looks funky to everyone else. What's it like playing against it?
I don't know. Our Coach Stevens is great at breaking down defenses and finding gaps, or offenses and finding gaps and stuff like that. So, I mean, we really don't change a ton. We have little specific things that we can tweak with certain positions, but for us on the field, I don't think it's that different.
Same with what he said. Coach Santino lays it all out for us, but when teams run a lot like that, it's a lot easier to defend. Like last year when we played Washington, the first time they were spread, and then the second time they switched to a double tight, double wing kind of thing, and I thought that was easier to scheme up against week 1. It's less versatility, so when they do that, it's a lot less to worry about. So you can load the box more. It takes pressure off the corners, and then the linemen have a specified job, and they don't really have to worry about pass rush that much. So I think it's easier defense to go up against. It's not really tricky. So I don't know what they're doing down there.
JJ, what was that like when your offense did transition last year to more of a run-heavy offense? What was that like for you on the line?
I liked it. And the first couple of weeks, it was kind of slow, and we kind of passed a lot, but it wasn't always working. And then we switched it halfway through, I think, right after playing you guys the first time, and it worked really well. And then we were running and we were going and we were moving really well up front and in the backfield. And then we got back to you guys, and they did load the box quite a bit, and we needed to start passing a little bit more. And we hadn't really done it a ton, but I think we might try and switch that up this year.
Cool. Any last words for you guys? I'm surprised you made it sitting here, since apparently you're such big rivals.
It's kind of a back of the mind thing.
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy for him. It's great seeing other guys from around here succeed and accomplish their dreams. So it'll be good seeing what he does at the next level and what he does next year.
Cool. Well, that's JJ, and that's Josiah, and I'm Aaron. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Sportswriters podcast. Thanks to Matt Dayhoff for producing it behind the scenes. If you want to subscribe to the Journal Star and kind of support more of these podcasts and videos and photos and stories, there's a big blue button on pjstar.com, or you can call us at 686-3200. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Journal Star Sportswriters podcast.